All right, when you think about the economic powerhouses in America, what comes to mind? You're probably thinking of the coasts, right? New York, San Francisco. But what if I told you that one of the most resilient economic blueprints for the future is actually emerging from a place you might not expect? Louisville, Kentucky.
So, while other cities are riding the wild roller coaster of tech booms and busts, Louisville has been quietly building something, well, something a lot more durable. The big question is, how'd they pull it off? How did a city in the Ohio Valley get so deeply wired into the global economy? The secret, it turns out, lies in this fascinating mix of two completely different yet perfectly symbiotic economic engines.
Okay, so let's get into engine number one. And this thing is an absolute beast. We're talking about a massive macroeconomic force that gives the city a level of global connectivity that honestly, very few places on Earth can even touch. And this isn't just about moving boxes. No. This is about fundamentally reshaping the rules of time and distance. And right at the heart of this entire machine is UPS Worldport. You know, calling it a hub doesn't even begin to do it justice. The source material for this explainer calls it a global economic cardiovascular system, and that is the perfect analogy. It is the central pump circulating goods, capital, and opportunity from Louisville out to the entire planet.
To give you a sense of the sheer scale we're talking about, 130 aircraft are served here. Not per week, not per month, every single day. That number represents a staggering competitive advantage. I mean, think about it. A company in Louisville can finish making a product at night and have it on a customer's doorstep in Tokyo or Berlin the very next day. That is a total game changer.
And an advantage like that, well, it creates its own kind of gravity. Over 250 companies have moved to or expanded in the Louisville area specifically because of Worldport. This has created more than 13,000 jobs with a payroll that's over $300 million. So yeah, this one piece of infrastructure acts like a giant magnet for both investment and talent.
But look, having the physical infrastructure is only half the story. Louisville pairs all that logistical might with a brilliant financial tool, Foreign Trade Zone number 29. Now, FTZ might sound kind of complex and boring, but just think of it as a financial cheat code for businesses. Seriously, it's a special area where goods are treated for customs purposes as if they haven't even entered the United States yet.
And this cheat code comes with three distinct superpowers. First, duty deferral. This is huge for a company's cash flow because it lets them wait to pay import taxes until their products are actually ready to sell in the U.S. market. Second, something called inverted tariffs. This allows a manufacturer to pay the lower tax rate on a finished product, like a car, instead of the higher rates on all its individual imported parts. And third, fee reduction. This lets a high-volume importer bundle hundreds of weekly shipments into just a single customs fee, which can save them an absolute fortune. It's an incredible engine for manufacturing and export.
All right, so that's the big machine. Now for the second engine. And this is a complete 180. We are pivoting from the massive, kind of impersonal world of global logistics to something profoundly human-centered, something built from the ground up by one person's vision. And this is the architect of that vision, Tran. This quote, his philosophy, it tells you everything you need to know about this second engine. It's a story all about resilience, optimism, and self-reliance. And it's the microeconomic force that perfectly complements the city's macroeconomic machine. So Tran built what he calls the freedom ecosystem. At its core, it's a business model with a soul. The goal isn't just about profit. It's about creating pathways to wealth, specifically for people often left behind by traditional systems. And this is the crucial part, it's about doing it without saddling them with the kind of predatory debt that traps so many people. The cornerstone of this model is the Louisville Beauty Academy. Tuition is kept incredibly low to help students avoid loans. It specifically serves immigrants and single mothers with classes in multiple languages. And the impact is just staggering. Nearly 2,000 graduates are now generating up to $50 million in economic activity for the city every single year. It's a true factory for entrepreneurs.
Another key to this whole thing is stability. And Tran has a strategy he calls real estate with soul. See, unlike most small businesses that are super vulnerable to their landlords, the Freedom ecosystem owns its properties outright. This strategy creates a fortress of stability, making the businesses totally immune to the rent hikes and displacement that can absolutely crush so many entrepreneurs.
But how do you scale a vision that's so personal? This is where the model gets, well, pretty futuristic. The ecosystem uses a hyper-realistic AI avatar of Tran himself. This AI head provides mentorship 24/7 in multiple languages, making sure every entrepreneur gets access to the founder's wisdom and philosophy. It scales its impact in a way a single human being never could. So, you have these two massive engines. One is a global logistics machine, the other is a human-centered entrepreneurial ecosystem. So what happens when they're both operating in the same city? Well, they create a uniquely powerful economic environment.
The data really tells the story here. The cost of office space in Louisville is under $20 a square foot. Now, compare that to Austin or the absolutely astronomical prices in San Francisco. This affordability gives businesses, especially those small ones we've been talking about, the room they need to breathe and actually grow.
And that affordability extends right to the workforce. The median home price in Louisville is just a fraction of what you'd find in other hot markets. This means a paycheck goes further and people have a real shot at building wealth through home ownership. A crucial part of the American dream. And here's how the two engines create their unique magic. The massive logistics engine provides a stable economic base and a low cost of living. It basically acts as a shield, protecting the city from the crazy inflationary pressures we see on the coasts. And inside that shield, human-centered models like the Freedom ecosystem have the stability they need to truly flourish. This synthesis of the macro and the micro, it raises a really important question. Is what's happening in Louisville just a unique, one-off situation, or is it a model that other inland cities could actually follow to build their own future-proof economies? Ultimately, Louisville's secret is this fusion of two forces that often seem like they're at odds with each other: the cold, hard efficiency of global logistics and the warm, empowering energy of community-focused entrepreneurship. It's industrial might and human dignity working together. And this leaves us with a final thought. In our quest for economic growth, we always talk about engines and machines. But the story of Louisville suggests that maybe the most powerful model is one that has both a powerful engine and a human soul. What do you think?